Okay, so I was walking through the garage and I saw this. Dad. This is a clean truck. This is not a clean headlight. Let's fix it. Okay, so let's discuss this for a second. Headlights, they are a clear plastic in 99% of the cases, especially with modern cars. That plastic over time gets destroyed by UV lights from our friend the sun. And that causes this yellowing haziness that you see, and that's really easy to get rid of in most cases because it's just an exterior thing. Now I'm going to try not to give you a full tutorial because there's a million tutorials on how to do this. I'm going to show you the way I do it and why my way is the best, and you should listen to nobody else except for me. But this isn't a tutorial. So first let me show you the supplies that you'll need, and then we'll go over why I chose these. First, spray bottle of water. Second, power drill. Third, masking tape. Fourth, Rain-X Premium Headlight Restoration Kit. Fifth, Meguiar's Headlight Clear Spray. And six, a ceramic coating of your choice. So why these things? First, this kit has a couple of sanding discs in there. They're for wet sanding. So for wet sanding, you need water. To make sure you don't scratch up the truck, to make sure you don't ruin the paint. Masking tape. Headlight clear comes in handy. This kit comes with wipes, but guess what? You can use this kit many times. They don't want you to know that. So some good spray to come after, or ceramic coat. If you prefer just this alone, you can do it, or you can do both. And the power drill, because that's how you use. This kit makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker than doing it by hand. This one box here can turn into a business in a couple of $1,000s if you play your cards the right way. Okay, first thing first, let's tape this up. Now if you can, get the tape behind the light. That's preferable. That way you know you're not worried about catching anything, but if not, do your best and just make sure you're careful around the edge. Okay, next it says you need to clean the entire headlight. You're going to be sanding most of this off anyway, so as long as you're getting any major surface contaminations off, that should be all you need. Just a little bit of water and a microfiber, and scrub anything that you see that may clog up your sandpaper. And now we got to look here on the box. Shows all of our attachments that came with it. 1500, 3200, and 4000 grit, and then you have a polishing pad. So this will be what we use for sanding. Polishing pad we can set to the side for the moment. And now we find our appropriate brown color. We get to work. Okay, now big thing while you're doing this is to not do this while it's dry. Make sure you keep your surface wet and lubricated. That's why we have this bottle. I've been doing pressure on this side of the drill, so most of my sanding marks would be vertical on this. So make sure as you go pass to pass you change what 90 degree that you put pressure on this. First layer done. As you can see, it throws sanding residue everywhere. Wipe it down so you don't have any big chunks of stuff left. You can already see it's lost a lot of its yellowing. And now it's just hazy, which will work out with the next sandpaper grit. Okay, now 3200 grit time. Same thing. Wet it down, don't focus in one spot, and alternate your patterns which way you go, because I can see sanding marks from where we did our up and down passes last. You'll also notice it's not creating as much muck as it was with the first one, because we're not cutting as much with this pad. Spray it down, wipe it off. And last, as far as our wet sanding goes, we have the blue pad, which I believe is 4000 grit. As you can see, we've already made a huge difference on what it was before. And there we go, now we have wet sanding complete. Gotta get this pretty dry now. We do a buff on this now and it should make it look more or less brand new. We're not going to do the spray on this headlight because we're going to do the buffing pass to show you what that's like. Plus, I prefer this more. Oh. Dangerous. Why'd y'all go and get that there? Is that better? You like that? Yeah. There you go. Now the Rain-X does come with its own buffing polish that you can use, but I say if you have it, use it. If not, you can always buy a full bottle of some sort of buffing polishing compound like a Chemical Eyes 38 or something similar. Okay, we're gonna get some on the pad. Put this here. Make sure that's rubbed in good so we're not doing anything with a dry spot. Kind of mush that around, that way our pad's, ew, icky, fully done. Now we'll go through and we'll polish this. And realistically, whatever speed your drill does in the fast setting is the right setting to use on this, because very doubtful that you have something that's too fast. Looks like the pad soaked up a lot of that, so we'll glop some more on here. And now I don't know if you can see, but this is throwing a lot of stuff everywhere. So if you're doing this to a customer vehicle, I would say take a minute and throw a Fernie blanket or something over it to keep all this protected, but we'll just wipe this up later since this is our car. Okay. Pretty happy with this. Wipe this down with one of our wet rags. Get any of the compound off. And there you go. That's significantly better. Now we just have to put a finishing coat on it. Okay, before we do anything, I'm going to untape this. Because the tape does hold a little bit of moisture, which is not good for the ceramic. Wipe down around the area. Wipe down of the area. Now, if we were to leave this as is, it would fade again pretty quickly because there's nothing sealing or protecting whatever's here. So we're going to use some Avalon King Armor Shield, which I've had sitting around for a while. And very carefully use their application by putting some drips and drops on the rag, rubbing it in. Now this coating will only last a few years, but for the less than 10 minutes that I've taken to do this, it does not hurt to do it again to keep it looking crisp, because other than a factory finish, there's really nothing that does last as long. So I'd rather use ceramic because it's got a much harder finish to it and it will protect it better than a paint. And there you go, there's a finished headlight. So I'm going to do the other side now, but I'm only going to film a time lapse with it, and I'm going to time myself so I can see how long this takes. That way you can see what the actual amount of effort put into this is. So if you're looking at it as a business opportunity, one headlight's about $30 to $40. If you can knock one out in 15 minutes start to finish, you're doing pretty all right if you can line up the work. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to let you guys listen to the dogs for a second. I don't know who they belong to, but they are going crazy. Less than 15 minutes per headlight, and you're done. Make sure to wipe down all of your splash. Or like I said, if you were smart, you would cover everything over. But I'm just making a video. What do I know? Okay, there you go. For about 15 minutes per side, you can fix your car's headlights. Now, the kits that I showed was the Rain-X kit. I also like the Cerakote kit. They do pretty good stuff too. Both of them are $16 to $17. The cool thing about the Rain-X kit is it comes with a drill attachment with the sandpaper, so you can do this over and over and over again. That's probably the 7th or 8th time that I've used that kit. The only thing I've had to supplement that with is my own ceramic coating finish coat, or if you wanted to, that paint. Now, the ceramic coat's going to cost you a bit more just because the technology is greater, so you're paying anywhere from $60 to $200 for a little bottle, but that's enough to coat an entire car a couple of times, so you can do a lot of headlights with it. The paint, not sure how long one of those bottles lasts, but I prefer the known good finish of the ceramic. So let's look at the math on this. You could do 2 cars an hour. If you live in a good area, it's $100 a car. So you have $200 per hour, 8 hours a day. That's $1,600 a day just for polishing some headlights up. It's not a bad way to do a business. It's a lot of money every week. It's $8,000 a week. What are you waiting on?